Hi everyone, and welcome to a new episode of Knitting Through the 1800s, in which I work my way through knitting patterns of the 1800s, one decade at a time. So far we've done the 90s until the 40s. They're all right here, and I will make sure to link the playlist if you haven't seen any of the episodes yet. I am maybe a little bit biased, but I highly recommend checking them out. Today we are tackling the 1830s, and full disclosure, it's going to be a bit of a quick and easy project. Famous last words, but it should be a quick and easy project because I am running out of time. The 1840s project took longer than expected because I've been moving. I am now in my new apartment, but that's been taking up a lot of my time and I haven't really had a lot of time to work on that project. So this one has been delayed because of that. I also have a dance performance this weekend that I've been working on, not just rehearsals, but I've also been making the presentation for in the background. I've been doing some video editing for that as well, so it's a little bit chaotic. Also just working full-time, by the way, just let's not forget that. So I have to make something that's a little bit more simple for this one, or it's a relatively small project. I don't know if it's going to be simple yet. Because what I will be making today is a scallop shell purse. Should be fun. Pattern is very simple. Well, pattern is only about 1 page, and I'm not talking A4. This is probably what, A6. So there are not that many instructions. So hopefully that means that it's going to be simple, and not that it just didn't write enough instructions. You never really know these older patterns, do you? And this pattern is from, let me check, the Ladies Knitting and Netting book. I mean, there have been many ladies knitting and knitting books throughout the years, I've noticed. And there is no author. It just says the compiler. And we have no idea who wrote this book or who was the person that compiled all of these patterns and who the original authors of all of these patterns were. And this book was published in 1838. Now I'm also kind of working my way through my yarn stash and not allowing myself to buy more yarn if I can avoid it, because my yarn stash is getting a little bit out of hand. So for this project, I dove into my stash and I found 2 skeins of Drop Slimer. This one is in shade 4434, and this yarn is a mix of wool and alpaca. And I just think it's really nice. I think I used this for, I don't remember what it's called. It was a sweater that had purple, pinks and whites. I put it on screen, and I'll put the pattern name on screen as well because I'm slightly obsessed with that, and we're in a heat wave now, so I cannot wear it, but in winter I wear it all the time. Anyway, let's go back to what we're talking about, because this is about the 1830s, not about a modern day sweater. So I will be using these. I have no idea how much I need. I don't feel like I'm going to need 2 skeins, but I have them. I can always make a second purse if I really want to. As usual, there is no needle size given or yarn weight given, so I'm just going to use the recommended needle size for this yarn, which is just a simple 4mm. And yeah, I'm just going to start. It is worked in the round, interesting, and I need to just cast on 66 stitches and just first knit a plain round and then work a rib stitch and increase, I think, and make loops. I don't know. I'm going to start and we'll see where it's going to take me. Okay, I finished the first round and now I need to do one with some instructions that the first time I read were not necessarily clicking for me yet, but I think if I just go through it while I'm working on it, it will hopefully make sense. So let's see what I need to do. Well, first of all, start with the right needle. Here we go. Okay, it says on the second round, that's where we are, rib a stitch. I'm assuming they mean purl. So let's do that. Then knit 2, which is why I assumed rib means purl, because they call this one knit. Then rib 1, so purl 1, knit 1, bring the silk forward. I'm not using silk, so bring the wool forward. So we're doing a yarn over and we're knitting a stitch, by which you increase a loop stitch. So I'm guessing that just means a yarn over, which I have now. Then it says continue thus to make a loop stitch before each of the next 5 And you will have 13 stitches from the last ribbed stitch. Wait, what? I don't understand that. You will have 13 stitches from the last ribbed stitch. I'm just going to repeat. Maybe they mean that by the end of the round you have increased 13 stitches. That could be true. Anyway, I need to repeat this pattern all the way around. So let's do that. I'm actually ending on a stitch in front of which I have to do a yarn over. I don't know if that's correct. Let me think, because I have 66 stitches and basically one pattern repeat is rip 1, knit 2, rip 1, knit 1 and knit another one. So that's 6. 66 divided by 6 should work. So I made a mistake somewhere. Oh no. Let's see. No, hang on, it's correct. Oh yeah, because the stitch in front of which you do the yarn over is stitch number 6 in a pattern repeat. So yeah, no, this is correct. No reason to panic. Probably no one was panicking, just me, but okay. So that's that round done. That was actually pretty simple. Decrease by taking off the 5th stitch and pulling it over the 6th after you have knitted it, and by taking the 2 stitches before the ribbed one together. I don't think I did it right. No, I didn't do it right. Oh my god. Great. Hang on. Because I remember how I said this was probably going to be a quick and easy project. Well, I messed up on the second round. I now understand the line that says, continue thus to make a loop stitch before each of the next 5. And you will have 13 stitches from the last ribbed stitch. I think they mean yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, yarn over, knit 1, blah, blah, blah. So yarn over, knit 1 5 times. Or the next 5, so 6 times. And then you will indeed have 13 stitches from the last ribbed stitch. I didn't do that. It also makes sense because if you're going to scallop it somehow, you need to increase way more than what I just did. And then it also makes sense that in the next round you slowly decrease until you're back to the original stitch count. So yeah, this supposedly quick and easy project turned out to be a little bit more challenging. It's just the instructions are a little bit vague. With a modern pattern this would have been a quick and easy project for sure, but yeah, I messed up. So let's go back one round and do this first one the correct way this time. Okay, it should now be correct, hopefully. So I need to move on to the next round, which is where I need to decrease, and I'm still not really sure how. It says the next round decrease by taking off the 5th stitch and pulling it over the 6th after you have knitted it. So we're just doing basically a 1 stitch cast off, and by taking the 2 stitches before the ribbed one together. So the last 2 stitches. So I need to do the ribbed section, so 1 purl, 2 knit and another purl stitch. Then I am going to do it differently. I don't know, maybe they want me to do it the way I'm going to do it, but it's a little bit vague. I'm going to slip stitch number 5, knit stitch number 6, and then pull stitch number 5 over number 6. And then before the next ribbed section, I'm going to knit 2 together. Then I need to do it for a couple of rounds until I'm back to having, what is it, the 5 or 6 stitches that I had when I started. So yeah, this one should be much more straightforward than the round I just did and messed up. So let's go. Purl 1, knit 2, purl 1. Now I'm going to slip. I'm going to knit and pass it over. Okay, and then continue knitting until I get to the last kind of combination of yarn over and knit stitch. There it is. Knit 2 together. And repeat all the way around. And that's 1 needle done. I mean, you can kind of see that there's some lace work starting to form, which hopefully should look really nice. So I'm going to keep doing this. I'm going to keep decreasing each round until I'm back to the original number of stitches. And I believe then we have just finished 1 pattern repeat. And then, oh no, wait. Then I need to knit a plain round, except over the ribbed stitches which you rib as before, and then we need to begin the pattern again from the second round until I'm done. I mean, that's the end of the pattern. There's no more instructions, so I can decide how big I want it to be myself. Let's first finish one of these pattern repeats and then we'll see how we're gonna go from there. I've done all the decrease rounds and I'm now back at the original stitch count. And I mean, it's kind of difficult to see a pattern come to life when it's this small, but this is what it's looking like. Now, what do I need to do? Let me check. Now I need to knit a plain round except over the ripped stitches, which I will still need to rip and then begin the whole pattern again. So let's do that. And then I'm just going to repeat it until it's long enough to be a purse, I guess. We'll see how many pattern repeats it's going to be. I'm first going to just knit a plain round and then start this whole process over again. Okay, I have now done, I think 7 repeats of the pattern, and I think I'm now at a good size, I guess. I don't know. I mean, the instructions just stopped after repeat the pattern. Didn't tell me how often I had to repeat the pattern or how long I needed the purse to be or what I need to do next. So from now on, we are just making stuff up ourselves. So my plan is to kind of do a couple of rounds of some decreases to kind of slowly fill it in like this, if that makes sense, and kind of turn this into a round purse, because I like how it is round and it's kind of reminding me of the reticules. So originally I thought I was going to just sew the edges closed and keep it as a square thing, but I'm going with round this time. So I'm going to do a bunch of decreases until I only have a couple of stitches left, and then just thread the yarn tail through the last stitches to close it up, I guess. And then I need to think about what I want to do with the kind of like strap situation. I think I also want to add a little drawstring around the top section to close it like that, but I need to think about that. I have been looking at photos of 1820s purses as a reference, but I don't really know what to do yet. I think what I will probably end up doing is, like I said, the drawstring to close it, and then I need to figure out the straps situation. But first I'm going to finish the actual knitting part of this thing. So I'm going to do decreases and close up the bottom edge. So it's going to be more like this. Okay, so I just did one needle and I just decided what I'm going to do decrease wise as I was working the needle, but I think I found what I want to do and what I'm going to keep doing for this round. So I'm going to keep the kind of like rib section that we have in between the pattern, I guess. So it's one purl and then 2 knit stitches and then another purl stitch. So I'm going to keep that kind of as long as I can, I think. Then I'm going to do 1 slip knit and pass the stitch over. Then I'm going to slip 1 stitch, knit 2 together and pass the slip stitch over, and then knit 2 together. And that's kind of the section in between the rib section, if that makes sense. So I'm going to repeat it. That's the round done. I'm going to now just work 1 plain round, and then I'm going to do another decrease round. That's the plain round done. I'm now going to, let me think about this, keep the rib section, and then I have now 3 stitches in the pattern section, and I think I'm just going to slip the first stitch, knit 2 together and pass the slip stitch over. So now I have only 1 in each pattern section, and then I'm going to work another round without decreases, and then I think it's time to start decreasing within the rib section, I guess, because let's be fair, there are not that many stitches left, so I think it's time. After I've done this round and the next one, of course. Okay, I'm now working on the last needle of the next decrease round. Bring you in a little bit closer. And for this one, I'm just decreasing in between the purl stitches. So the knit part of the ribbing, I guess. So purl 1, knit 2 together, purl another one, knit 1, because there's only 1 stitch left of the pattern part, of the pattern section. Then again, purl 1, knit 2 together, purl 1 and knit 1. So this is what we have now, and it's really starting to kind of, you know, it's starting to look like a pineapple. Like this. Oh my god. I actually was looking at pineapple purse or bag patterns, actually, historical ones. It does kind of look like a pineapple. Interesting. No, I'm not turning into a pineapple. I'm just going to keep going. And I think for this next round, which will probably be the last round, I am just going to work knit 2 together just all the way across the round, I think. Let's see how that looks. Yeah, I'm gonna do 1 final round. Again, knit 2 together all the way across, and then I think we can just, after I remove the stitch marker, we can finish the bottom edge of this purse. I'm now going to cut off the yarn. There we go. Get it on my needle and go through the last remaining stitches. And close it up like that. Yeah, that's exactly what I wanted. Okay, good. So this is what it's looking like. I mean, it still looks like a pineapple, but it's going to be like this. I am now going to do the drawstring, I think. And my plan is to just make a crochet chain, I guess. And I'm also thinking of just using that drawstring as a strap situation as well. I think that could work. So I just need to make sure that I make a crochet chain that's long enough to also work as a handle, kind of. I'm also kind of thinking of just making it twice as long so that I can then kind of twist it up into a rope. I think that could be a good idea. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a crochet chain that's twice the length that I need it to be, and then I can twist it up as a rope and use it as a drawstring and as the straps for this thing. So let's do that, and then I think I have one more little thing that I want to do, but I'm not going to tell you yet. You have to keep watching to figure out what I want to do. But first I'm going to just crochet a bunch of chains. So that's the rope. I do still need to cut off kind of like the excess tail, I guess. but let's do that now. Lovely. Now I need to get this attached to this somehow. So because of the pattern, there are these little holes at the top here. So I think I'm just going to follow the line of this pattern repeat and I guess just weave it through. There we go. So now I should be able to just, if it's open, just close it like that. And then this kind of becomes a little handle. I'm kind of thinking of just having it like this. I think that's looking cute. Now let's talk finishing touches, or I guess one big finishing touch, and I'm kind of excited about it. I want to add a little tassel to the bottom edge thingy right there. So I'm just going to go and make a tassel, attach it to the bottom here, and then we can go to the reveal of this probably 5-minute long video. It is what it is. Let's make a tassel and finish this. And there we have it, my little 1830s purse. I think it's adorable. I mean, it's interesting. I feel like it's definitely very historical looking, very Victorian looking. But yeah, I think it's adorable. And the pattern, even though it was about 5 sentences long, was easy to follow after I recovered from my mistake. Let's call it that. It wasn't that surprising that I made a little mistake at the beginning. I guess it makes sense with these Victorian knitting patterns, but I ended up with something that's very cute, and yeah, very happy with this. Now, next episode is going to be delayed. I don't know how long yet, because I have not been able to find any patterns for the 1820s yet, or the 1810s, or the 1800's, I guess. I have not found patterns for that period at all. So I need to do some more research and see if I can find something. I think it's going to be maybe beginning of next year that I'm going to be able to continue this, depending on when I can find patterns. I have at least planned different projects for the upcoming month, because the next video is going to be my, I guess at this point, my yearly Croatia knitting vlog. I'm going to Croatia and I will be knitting and crocheting, and there will be a video for knitting and a video for crochet, but after that, I have 2 other projects already planned. Then maybe a 3rd one. And after that, hopefully I can continue this series, because I do want to continue it and I want to finish it. But it's kind of impossible to do without patterns. So if anyone knows where I can find 1820s 10 zeros patterns, please let me know, because it's not that I haven't found any good ones, it's just that I haven't found any at all, which complicates things. But I'm going to keep looking, and in the meantime I'm going to work on some other fun projects, so feel free to subscribe so you don't miss out on other knitting adventures. For now I'm just going to end this one here. Thank you for watching, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.